3.5 million pages of sealed documents, flight manifests, encrypted emails, photographs that powerful people never wanted you to see, suddenly dumped from a Department of Justice vault. But here's where it gets disturbing. Less than 1% has actually been made public. The rest? Hidden behind black redaction bars. Bars that raise more questions than the answer. What names are they still protecting? And more importantly, why are they so desperate to keep you from knowing? This is the Epstein Files saga of 2026, and what we've discovered will shake your understanding of power, secrecy, and who really controls the truth. Late January 2026, the date most people had been waiting for finally arrived. Under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, signed into law during the Trump administration, the Department of Justice was legally required to release what they called the final batch of materials. The numbers were staggering. Over 3 million pages of documents, 2,000 video files, more than 180,000 photographs. Pulled from Epstein's 2008 Florida plea deal and the federal sex trafficking investigation building before his death in 2019. FBI 302 forms detailed victim testimonies, heartbreaking in their specificity. Private jet logs trace routes to Little St. James Island, dates, times, passenger lists, including some of the world's most recognizable names. But here's the catch that nobody saw coming. Buried in a routine court filing released the same week, a federal judge acknowledged something stunning. The materials released to the public represented less than 1% of the total evidence. Less than 1%. The remaining 99%? Still locked away, still classified, still protected. The materials that did reach the public were disturbing enough. A digital archive known as the Epstein Library became the center of attention. Inside it, a picture emerged of systematic abuse, masked by luxury and power. Never-before-seen photographs revealed interiors of Little St. James, inside a dentist-style chair, inside a temple-like structure, blue and white striped walls, a building long dismissed as a rumor. Another image, chalkboards, covered in handwritten words, power, influence, deception, control. No one knows who wrote them, but the implications were chilling. Security footage showed boats arriving, guests disembarking, parties on the beach. Survivors described the island as paradise as a prison, a place where escape was impossible and help was miles away across open ocean. Names that shock. This is where the story explodes. The flight logs confirm names whispered about for years. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. And this is critical to say clearly. Association is not guilt. A flight log is not a conviction. A photograph is not a crime. But the redactions, entire sections blacked out, names replaced with individual one. Why reveal some names and hide others? Because partial truth is dangerous. It fuels speculation, it destroys reputations, and it protects the truly guilty. More than 2 million pages remain under review. Under review. Not destroyed, not lost, just not ready. Survivors begged courts to seal explicit images, to stop the abuse from happening again. And many judges agreed. But conspiracy theories filled the silence. Elites buying silence, lawyers hiding crimes. Independent researchers tried to map the data, but 3.5 million pages would take decades to read, and some scans barely legible. Accident or design? Jeffrey Epstein died in a Manhattan jail cell on August 10, 2019. Officially, a suicide. Cameras failed, guards slept. Procedures ignored. Believe what you want. The result is the same. The man who knew everything took his secrets to the grave. Ghislaine Maxwell refused to name names, so these files, flawed and redacted, may be the closest thing to accountability we ever get. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Dumping millions of pages doesn't create transparency. It creates chaos, information overload, misinformation, confusion. Survivors deserve privacy, but they also deserve justice. And justice without accountability is just another form of silence. So who killed transparency? Who decides what we're allowed to know? Who benefits from the black bars? Power. These aren't rhetorical questions. They're the foundation of democracy. The full archive is available at justice.gov/Epstein. Enter at your own risk. Part 2 will examine leaked, unredacted materials and the legal battle to unseal the remaining 99%. Until then, keep questioning, keep demanding accountability. Because when powerful people say you can't handle the truth, it's usually because the truth implicates them. Justice delayed is justice denied. And right now, 3.5 million pages of partial truth feel a lot like denial.